Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Endpoint TV. This is Crossy here with you, and we're going to be going through one heck of a best of three. The winner of this gets himself a spot in closed qualifiers for the DreamHack Open full competition, so it is all to play for. There will be other games later on today, but if Endpoint are able to win through here, the others are more to do with seeding, so this is the most important one that we want to be checking out today. So a couple of talking points. MBAPPEEK, their opponents, featuring Guardian, the legendary AWPer from the days of Counter-Strike, and it'll be interesting to see what he brings to the table, in particular alongside his teammates. And on the side of Endpoint, a little change in the roster. Flames stepping in for Thomas, who has moved on to pastures new. And I think the most interesting thing here, we've got two players who are switching out. Both have the capability to frag very heavy, and with a wealth of experience around him, he should be able to develop the other areas of his game pretty quickly as well. But an interesting prospect. We've got a best of three that we're going to be watching. Inferno first, which is MBAPPEEK's pick. Then we've got Train, which is Endpoint's pick, a personal favourite of mine. As Surreal taps away on Guardian up towards short as they try and make their approach onto the site. Nice work from Endpoint getting a couple of frags, but it is a 3-2 advantage. Make that 2 for 2 as Crucial brings it back even. Uses the smoke for cover from the Barrett car and gets his man. Falls in the information for Mighty Max, who taps away but isn't able to find the headshot. So MBAPPEEK take the first round on T's side. But yeah, Train, the second map that we see, and then Inferno will be the decider if that is needed. The Dust 2, very frag-heavy map. You definitely want to be warmed up when you're taking this one on, especially over towards T side. I'll try and get as many picks on the board as you can. The AWP can be a crucial weapon as well in this map, so we'll see how that ends up developing. Particularly on the T side, more than anything else. You can play AWP mid CT, but it does come with its own challenges. And then over towards A side as well, the AWP can be useful in CT, but you do have some issues that we will probably see crop up over the course of the games. Crucial is nailed through the door with the scout. Need a few bites of the cherry. Aiken tapping away. Good rifle control, transferring from Mighty Max and Flames very quickly. Neither of them really expected that to happen as he moves unabated through long. Guardian and Kreese picking up a frag apiece as well with the AKs, heavily outgunning the Endpoint players. So as you would probably expect, and they'll be looking to piggyback through and get this third round on the board as well. Endpoint will be looking to save and get ready for some kind of buy next time out, most likely. That's exactly what we see as well. If you're looking to have a serious play on the round, you may buy some utility for a retake. They haven't gone for that, just saved their coffers, gambled on an A-long push. And it's only really Aiken who is there to offer up any resistance. He gets one, but he's traded out. So that AK is going to be useful if they can get up onto short and retrieve it. Looks like there was maybe an opportunity if the boost came off, but instead there are two players, Bubble and Ships, making their way up short to defend that weapon and prevent Endpoint from getting their hands on it. And that is exactly what pans out as well. Really nice work from MBAPPEEK. Good knowledge of the situation. And, you know, the amount of times that we've seen an AK get dropped second or third round and completely rip apart a T-side attack. So it was good presence of mind for them to get up there and prevent Endpoint from grabbing hold of that weapon. There is then the 3 rounds on the board. That's the chance to put up a bit of resistance for Aiken straight away with the opening gambit. Crucial trading back, finding Ships with his AWP from mid-doors. Early pick will play in favour of the terrorists. If you lose someone early on CT, you will have to think about that. Maybe not necessarily rotate someone off a position, but it just changes the way that you're going to approach it going forward. And maybe you'll have to rotate a little quicker. Max finds one. That straight away is going to slow down any potential push into the site. He's just using his utility to buy some time, call it in, make sure he knows where it's coming as well. Gets his second frag from there. Doesn't spot the guy in smoke, so that won't be information that he will have called in. That's crease from there. I think they know that both players will be coming into this B bomb site. Bomb in hand. Crucial close quarters from the window. Decides not to face right away. Robin does, out from the window. Is instantly taken out. Crucial probably going to be in trouble with the two AKs against the AWP, lacking the maneuverability with that weapon. And perhaps a little bit of a one at a time thing. Maybe they could have both shown at the same time from door and from window. I would have had a little more success, but when you do have an AWP in play, you sometimes need your rifler to make something happen, to give you that opportunity to work. MBAPPEEK, though, leading the charge on their map choice. 4-zip in their favour, looking strong against the deco as well. From the Endpoint side, Surreal rolling back the years, though, with a crisp 1D, sorry. Goblin Guardian with a couple of frags as well, bringing it back to a 3v3. Cyril managed to retrieve himself an AK, could be useful during the later stages of this 5th round. Robin showed, looking for the running 1D. Oh, Guardian. What a shot that is on Flames. Missed the AWP shot. And with an AWPer of Guardian's prowess and experience, you would have backed him to maybe have picked off that first shot, but instead whips out the handheld version, does the exact same thing, finds the headshot. That was tasty. Leaving Surreal just to keep hold of this AK. If he can, ready for the next round. So for Endpoint, I think the main thing that they can take away from this so far is that they're losing a player too early on in these rounds. I think Aiken in particular sitting on 7 and 2. So we see him push through and try and hunt down this AK and the last Endpoint man. That's probably been the most prolific so far in getting entry picks. And sort of first to engage. And then Guardian, we haven't been riding on board with him, but since he's got the AWP in hand, he's been doing some work with that as well. So let's stick with him just for a minute here and see what he does. Hasn't really got the spawn for mid. So he narrowly just missed the crosser. With the cover of the smoke as well, allows the one man to get across. We see Guardian just miss the second man cross as well. So there won't be that much information coming in terms of how many players are in B, etc. Kind of silver foreknowledge, but if you see 2 players cross into B, you may be tempted to make something happen over towards A. Mid to B is on though. See Endpoint switching for that slightly more passive style, not challenging in mid. Not putting themselves at risk, but Bubble able to walk all the way through into the mid to B, into the door of B site and pick up a man from there. That is the struggle, and Crucial, who has been marshalling that area now over towards A, where he is able to pick up a frag. Robin needs to be careful, does find the man, ships in the corner. That could have been tricky, but no lazy checks from him. All good stuff on display. Aiken then. Then finds the main entry fragger. Surreal spotted him, knows where he's coming from. Will be first the punches crease. Smashing through the door, finds Robin. He gets lit up in similar fashion as Surreal. Not the smoothest of AK control, but he does come away with his man nonetheless. You see Kreese, last man standing. They decide to just let him keep that AK. Everyone falls away. And that is Endpoint's first round on the board. Definitely be pleased with that. 4 AKs and AWP still up though for the T side. Bit of action going on. Flames, nice work as he is able to pick up one frag, and they get a second in the B tons as well. So this is a little more like it from Endpoint. A little more aggressive, maybe, during the early stages. Showing in these areas, but it has come off, and it's one of those few rare occasions in the early stages of this map where we've seen them having a man advantage. Let's see what they're able to do with that. 3 players left alive for the T side. They're going to try and work something out towards long, potentially. Flames in the pit, flashing himself out. Gets the tag, but not the frag on one of the men. That's Ships. The fire flushes him out, and he finds 1 frag. And the man they severely dented shows that he didn't really like that Guardian. Finds 2 players, gets dinked in the process. That's brought it back to 2v2. Brought it back to a winnable situation. And Surreal just going to play for time. Wait for something to happen around him. Allowing Max the time to wrap from behind. Surreal gets 1, that's Guardian. Still an AWP in the hands of Ships. He's got to be careful of fire and nades and just about everything. But Ships is able to come away with the frag. And after all that, Endpoint's attempt to claw themselves back into this half have slipped away. Trying the running scout through mid doors. When it comes off, it's legendary. Now turning his attention to B tons. And while the doors being switched around into B site, they give you some advantages in terms of making a retake. So it leaves you a little bit exposed there, as we kind of saw. Now, if your teammate in there isn't alert, it causes problems for you. And Ships pushing through. He's got a couple of men. They can hang in behind. Playing the lurk roll on short, manages to grab a man as well. And 7-1 is pretty much a formality, unless Robin's going to find 4 crisp 1Ds for us. Seems like mid is the problem area at the moment. Too easy for the T's to get map control and then make a play when they want to work. Mid to B, it should be something that you're a little worried about going for. You expect to step into a crossfire from towards A ramp and out of the site, or just from facing the door as it is, and you'd normally want some utility, some flashes and some smokes to be able to get you out of that area. On the contrary here, it's too easy for them to just walk through. And the number of times where we've seen T players going through mid to B unchallenged and then picking up frags over towards the B site. I think that's 2-3 rounds already where we've seen that happen. And this is already coming about from the fact that when they've faced mid, they've generally been picked off Endpoint. So slightly worrying signs perhaps as Aiken finds another one. And Bubble taking down Crucial. Robin out towards long doors. He's probably going to walk into trouble here and does exactly that. Kreese just sits back and waits for him. You got man advantage, you can just be patient. Surreal in trouble. Trapped in, much like he was at triple stack on A site a round or two ago. He manages to fall away this time without being flushed out by a Molotov. And just going to have to save it up. Surreal under a little bit of pressure. Just trying to retrieve his gun if he can. Just waiting for the smoke to plume. Max does get one. Ends up a little one-for-one trade in the end, but they only bring one M4 through into this next round. Let's see what the play is on that. Guardian AWP in hand, finds flames. That's not the M4 that's got dropped though, so that's still in play against 4 AKs and an AWP in the hands of a rather legendary AWPer as well. Still very much outgunned, and there it is, 2 players over from crossover. Aiken waiting to mop up the 2 players that drop out short under the pressure. Robin is able to trade that out. Grabs himself an AK in the process as well. But full site control. Ships, is he going to pick his pocket? Yep. Ha! You hate to see it. That hasn't worked out, but Surreal gets himself a couple of frags out of the process. Wow. That is... that's not how he wanted that to go, was it? I know we're going to try and be unbiased-ish, but you love to see knife attempts go wrong. And Surreal can take a small amount of pride out of this, but 9-1 is definitely not the prettiest scoreboard to look at. See Surreal 11 and 8. The one player on the Endpoint side to really get going and hit his straps. That was another round, though, where 2-3 players, I think it was, on the T side managed to get to a crossover completely untouched. Catching Mighty Max in the side of the head. He just wasn't expecting that in the slightest. And Surreal adding another one to his tally. That's 12 now for him. In 10 rounds of Counter-Strike, pacing well. Just misses his shot over from crossover. Endpoint get ready for a retake. They had a really good stab at a retake in one of the very early stages. Didn't quite pan out. Oh, Guardian, nice shot from Carr. Really tough little shot from there. A 4v4 is still possible for Endpoint as Mighty Max comes in, gets the first frag. Ships, Guardian, both working together, getting a couple. Still though, 2v2. Timer ticking away. Flames there for the trade. But Guardian, last man standing. Able to pick up the remaining Endpoint players. Good attempt. Good attempt at a retake. That's their second near miss over towards A. Positive signs. But it's the T's very much in the driving seat on Dust 2, their map pick. Probably the map pick of random mixed teams everywhere. go out and frag hard on T side. Bubble up on the boost on blue. Couple more players there to find. Robin, nice composure, finding that one shot. And still the action focused around these long doors. Ships has the number. Seemed to already know that Robin had hopped out of the pit. Was waiting for him to appear there and was first to the punch. Sees man advantage, going for the run boost. No one there just yet. And no smoke for the crossover. 55 seconds left to go. In this 12th round, Guardian swings to car. Didn't need the smoke cover. He's just going to pick up the frags. Still trying to wiggle peek his man. That works out well. Instantly traded away. Guns being dropped out of hands by Endpoint players, but not doing much to dent this economy. 3 players over 10k at the end of the round. They're pretty much good to keep spending for the remaining 3 regardless of what happens, while Endpoint still struggle to get anything going. Frags wise, locking down areas really. Mid and long in particular far too easily. Frags coming in the early stages of rounds as well. Not afraid to get up in grills. Priest gets real. Robin, 5 men to find. All to do. There's got to be ships to clean up. So for any Endpoint fans in the house, this isn't looking too good right now, but don't be alarmed. Dust 2 does have the potential of going this way sometimes, especially against a team that is just going out and looking for frags early. And if you come out on top in those situations, then you know, you're pretty much going to put together a very good T side if you're out fragging your opponents. It's key in any map to be able to do that and make your entries and make your picks, but on Dust 2 there is less that you can do about it compared to perhaps some of the other maps. And completely white, Mighty Max finds a frag over onto short. 3v3. Now a chance for Endpoint to try and make something happen. Max making stack loads of noise as he tries to get through. Luckily, Surreal there at window, able to bail his teammate out as the remaining 2 men make their way fast into tunnels. Is Aiken again with the entry. He's on an absolute tear. Robin waiting to be able to make an entry. Doesn't want to push the smoke, can't push the Molotov. But by the time he makes his move, his teammate Max has already gone down in the tunnels. It's a little bit of a one at a time kind of feel to these retake attempts into B. Just a little bit disjointed as the new lineup just starts to gel together. Will take a little bit of time, I'm sure. You don't have that telepathic feeling of where your teammate's going to be right away. But it will get there. Thanks, Max, just do a good bit of work. Crucial up on short, though, with the FAMAS. Didn't have the firepower. Takes Bubble down to 10. But it's not quite enough as Guardian just patient, waits his time. Flames gets the HP bubble, grabs himself an AK. Got the one-shot headshot potential as he's now hunted down by 2 players. Bombs up in the hands of Guardian. He's making his way to tunnels. And through into the bomb site. Flames picked up. And it's going to be 14-1 as we shift into the second half. So while this has been nothing but one-way traffic, Train posts a completely different prospect for both of these teams. Key areas, for example, into main, making sure that you've got your main set up exactly how you need it to be, all of your angles covered, you've got utility to slow down. Now, it's so easy when that isn't right to just go into that open site, a couple of flashes, set smokes, etc., get a bomb plant, pick out the players, and it's super difficult to then retake. So we may see some chinks in the armour of this team that are completely running away with Dust 2 on a map that is very difficult to play if you don't have a good team cohesion. Interesting to see how that plays out. And we would certainly love to see a third map here. As if Endpoint haven't got the comeback of champions up their sleeve, of course. That's right, nothing off. At least in the best of 3, you can take a map like this and completely turn it around. I'm kind of working on a half idea of like an analysis of how this pans out, how in the best of 3 a team can get absolutely thumped on a map, 16-2, 16-3 or whatever. They'll end up coming through and winning a best of 3. And you know, some of the psychology of that. And yeah, as with most things, it's in the works. It will get done eventually. But it's a very interesting little dynamic as far as this game goes. And a lot of it just comes down to time. Like, how much time have you got to prepare on all of these maps? The likes of Nuke and Train tend to appear less in the map pool, so you'd spend less time on them. While you know, teams that have been together for longer or have more time to practice and work on these things may be better across the broader range of maps rather than the old favourites of Inferno and Mirage. And Dust 2, maybe not so much, but maybe making a little resurgence again. And talking of resurgence, that's what we need from Endpoint. 14-1 down here in this best of 3. The winner of this match books himself a spot in the closed qualifier for the DreamHack Open Fall 2020. It's a very nice prize to have, and this hasn't worked well. Aiken and Guardian, the two big names on the scoreboard right now. Aiken with his 20 bomb, Guardian just 1 frag away. Making pretty light work. Flames does get 1. He's getting swarmed from behind, caught in a kill shoot. And it feels very much like Endpoint are going down with a whimper here in this first map. Still plenty to play for, however. Just have a little chat and regroup at the end of this map. So we will take a short break here ourselves as well before we get back into the action. We will be seeing Train. Inferno there as the decider if we need it. And while it's been one-way traffic, we've seen a real good display of Counter-Strike so far. Endpoint going back towards the A. Stacking up towards short this time. Flames out towards long. Can't really engage yet. He knows he's got a guy close. Just going to be waiting for him. Needs his teammates to throw a bit of a distraction before he can come and make things happen. Surreal with the deagle in hand. Gets 1, gets 2. Chance for another towards A ramp. And Flames times it perfectly now with the pincer movement. And he's able to come in. They try and get the jumping shot, but at crucial. Finds him on the fall. Down goes Ships. I mean, can he be a hero? 1 in the pit, 2 on the site. Just go wait for Flames to pop up. Now has to rotate out towards the angle of two waiting endpoint players, and there it is, Crucial with the scout in hand. Does the remainder of the damage that's needed. (15-2). Is this the start of the comeback? See Deagle buys coming in from the CTs. A couple of AKs in the hands of Endpoint. To make that extra firepower pay. Some sharp entry frags. Even if they are only able to get a couple more rounds, don't even really make it interesting. Just getting some entries on T side. Knowing that you can out-frag these guys will be useful going into the second map. Aiken finds the head of Surreal though into pit. My last team I played as main AWPer, and those shots sort of with a downward trajectory where you've only got a few pixels to aim at, absolutely hated those. Mirage, another one down into mid. From connector, that sort of thing. Always feels like a tough shot to make. Max with the 200% kill bonus with the Mac 10. They now try and make a play into B. Robin gets one from outside the doors as we're back to a 3v3. You can see how much easier it is as Guardian comes in from behind and secures his 20 bomb. Wasn't even going to wait, just went barreling in. As Flames to keep him in this map for just a little while longer. Gets one. Expecting maybe the man from Tunnels. Maybe knows how low his HP is. He's going to try and wait the man in. Still goes for it. Nice bit of individual play from Flames. Last man standing finds 3 men. Endpoint live to fight another day. Full eco. Full mid push coming in. Crucial. Filling his boots. Don't know about the guy wrapping from behind. I don't think they do. Guardian gets a dink. And a frag out of that as well. Isn't able to retrieve a weapon, and Crucial puts his 4th kill of that round. Little eco bash. We've just gone down 14-1 in the first half. You will take them any way you can get them, though. It's our first real chance to see these two square off against each other in a 5v by. Endpoint on T side. Bubble again pushing himself up towards mid. Crucial wasn't expecting that. Caught on the jump. That's 2 players pushing out of short. And it's the same kind of issues that we saw in the first half. MBAPPEEK players just appearing in areas where you wouldn't expect them to be. Or maybe not even that. Like, you would expect them to be maybe pushing out towards short, but you normally have someone in a position to spot that, call it in. Guarding with the AWP. I think he's going to save it. You wouldn't put it past him to come up clutch in that situation, but they have so many rounds to play with. There's no need to try and be a hero just yet. His teammate's probably going to buy upgraded pistols. Maybe a bit of utility, just support the AWP now. AWP does carry through, so yeah, upgrade your pistols, swag 7. Ships maybe go take himself into tunnels and try and get up close with that. Can't get away with just sitting behind a door sometimes with the Mag 7. Can't remember offhand if you still get 200% kill bonus with it. It's been a while since I've used it. As Robin catches on to Bubble. Has to walk his way all the way up mid. Into Ali. Again, just another example of how Endpoint has struggled keeping these guys under control. Crucial. Manages to find Guardian through the smoke eventually. As he pokes his head above the parapet. He's with a kill. He's found nicely by Flames. And Robin able to spray through and get the booster. Aiken now looking for glory, drops an AWP out of Endpoint hands. Instantly retrieved back. 15-6, the score becoming just a little more respectable. Still a long road back, and Guardian, despite getting flashed out, just got the muscle memory, able to find his way to the door. Make the perfect shot to the man waiting for him. It's the aggressive push through tunnels. Mike Max gets one man. Aiken, does he know about the second? I think they're wary of it and pushing from behind ships. And they find him crease in the meantime. They find Surreal. That's over at the other side of the map. Not a problem. As the plant comes in towards B side. Flames waiting perfectly. Again, lurk roll. He's got both crease and Bubble looking in his direction now. Just wasting time as they get their smokes in. Planning their exit strategy out of the bomb site. To try and keep all these weapons if they can. Max along as well with 11 points of health. 2 AKs in the bomb plant though, and you can look at the money here. Endpoint now got a good bank of money behind them. What they don't have a bank of is mistakes and rounds to play with. The Guardian is still keeping an AWP up. His teammates buy what they can to support him. Bubble rocking the AK. Guardian again facing in towards the B doors, and from both teams on CT side, facing B doors, seeing that happening much more prominently than I've been used to watching games recently. Flames finds crease, brings it back to a 4v4. Numbers perhaps now, even though they're even on the board, maybe favour Endpoint a little more, but what a shot that is from Guardian, second to the punch. Don't think he knew too much about that even, but he found the man maybe where he wasn't expecting him. Now Robin comes up from short, trying to do some work solo. Max finds ships as well. Bubble firing back on Robin. Flame stepping out perfectly though, gets the refrag, and this is going much better for Endpoint now. And this is the difference between this kind of level of Counter-Strike and the kind of things you'd play in matchmaking and lower levels of Face It and that sort of thing, is the refragging, the thing that becomes so frustrating. You go down, you've got a teammate standing right next to you on the radar, and they are not able to then get that frag for you. Not an issue that I've seen from Endpoint at all, really, in probably 6 months or so of watching their games. They can look towards pit. Maybe not expecting. Max doesn't give the game away. Picks up the frag. Brings it to 15-8, and this is much more like it. So showing and facing towards lower. Mike Max already got lit up from there. Falls away with his tail between his legs and goes to retrieve the bomb instead as they look towards the A site maybe to make something happen. If Garden is still hanging around there, yes he is. Shifting up his position to adapt to the situation now, looking towards mid to B. The area where they were able to get quite good control throughout there at 14-1/2 and all. Missing a shot, maybe not expecting players still to be towards the top of mid. 45 seconds left to go in this round. Need to make something happen. Crucial finds a frag on crease. Has softened up the B defense a little bit. But A is going to be the play. 30 seconds left to go. Two Orcs have to try and negotiate. Surreal deals with the rotators, being patient. But with 15 seconds on the clock, that's a crucial kill. Oh, I didn't even mean to do that. Dropping puns, I didn't even expect it, but Guardian entrenched on the site. With 15 seconds left to go, needing a bomb plant. I potentially just could have made a nuisance to himself and ran the timer down with a bit of assistance from his teammate. That shot needed to be made. Wasn't the most routine either. Now Endpoint continuing to go on this roll. Flames out through long. They're hoping to ignite the team again. With an early entry frag. It's like we're seeing all through the first half. Got in mid. This time with the scout. Doesn't matter what weapon he uses. If he's got a scope on it, he's dangerous with it. He has got dented down though. And will be falling away and biding time. The squeeze that you feel on CT side now starting to mount up as well. Going back towards long. And if anything, the plan is just to try and delay again. Run the timer down and make Endpoint have to make a move. Aiken finds Max. That's going to limit any distractions from other areas of the map. It is only this play onto crossover. Crucial to keep it rolling. No such luck, but we will all be very happy to see Endpoint make a good attempt at a fight back there. And that is positive signs as they go into what is going to be their map pick on Train. Thank you very much, guys, for joining us for this match. Best of 3, so we're going to hear with you for a little while yet still.